Hello everyone, welcome to Be a Programmer YouTube channel. Today we are planning to take Java tutorial for beginners. Below are the topics we are going to cover today. Yep. So we are going to cover data types and operators, primitive data types, declaration ranges, variables, arrays, accessing arrays, defining class methods, then different types of operators in Java. Then finally, we will see some conditional flow statements also covered today. Okay. So let's start from the primitive data types, declaration and ranges. So similar to any programming languages, Java also has some primitive data types. Okay, so let me put the slide. So there are 8 primitive data types: bytes, short, int, long, float, double, char, and boolean. So if you are familiar with any other programming language, you might have definitely came across the same kind of data types. And if you could able to refer the range for each type, you can able to use these variables accordingly. So byte has a size of 1 byte, and the maximum range is 128 minus 128 to 127. So similarly, there are different ranges. So usually byte can hold only few values, short can hold from minus 32,768 to 32,767. Integer has this particular range. Okay, so long has more capacity. So this is the uh, longest integer that we can store in a long. And float. So float has even a high number of values that can be stored. So it takes decimal digits. So basically, if you see the range is from plus or minus 3.4 and followed by decimal numbers to the power of 38. And double is above float. So here there are 15 decimal digits. Float has only 6 to 7 significant decimal digits. Then we have characters, then booleans. So char is nothing but it has a range of 0 to 65,000. So basically it can store a single character digit. Boolean, it can hold zeros and ones, true or false. So apart from this, we also have string. Okay. So before going to the next topic, we can have a sample of this particular variables and see how it is printed in Eclipse. So to start with Java programming, so first you have to download the Eclipse IDE, so which is a good integrated development environment for Java programming. And I will teach you how to create a project first. Okay, so just right click the package window, new Java project. I put I put like first hello world project. Okay, just finish it. You will see the project created on the left side. So here you can see the JRE is already mapped by Eclipse IDE. You can see a folder called SRC, that is nothing but source. So under source, all your Java classes will go. Okay, so I will just right click source, new, and you can create a class by selecting class option. Or the other way is, the fastest way is select source, press Control N. Okay, so you will get the dialog wizard where you can select the class, put next, give your class name, hello world. So this is my first class. Okay, and finish it. Okay, so for any Java class, you can see that there will be a default method to execute a main thread. Okay, so it has a accessor of public static void main, and it takes arguments. Otherwise, you can directly put main and you can enter it. So you will see a main static method is already created. Okay, so use this main method. Okay, so the main method will be the first main thread for any Java code. Okay, let me print my first lines of code. So system.out.println will print anything in the console. So I have my console window on the right side. I'm just putting hello world. Okay, save it, then run. You will see that the text is displayed. Now let's play with some variables. Okay, so we can have integer a. I can assign some value to it like 10. Okay, so this is an integer. Let's take boolean. Okay, boolean b, put true or false, or I can directly put, okay, you can directly put true or false. I'm going to print a in the print statement and b. Okay, you can see 10 underscore true. Okay, so this is a simple Java code for just to begin. Okay, so similarly you can write your own Java codes. Okay, next so we will see what is the variable naming conventions. Okay, so if you see quickly, so what I have used, so all the variables starts with smaller case. So we can basically the naming convention is camel case. So if I want a variable named uh, car, I can type like this. And if I want to attribute like payroll, so pay and roll. Okay, so I'm using camel case here. P is small and R is capital. So this is a naming convention. Okay, and Java also has final final keyword which will define a constant. Okay, so I am going to define final int. I can put a is equal to 10. So this will create a constant. So this uh, I have to define a new variable. Okay, so let's put a. If I try to edit a, if I print it again, so obviously you can already see there is a Java compiler error. The final local variable cannot be assigned. It must be blank. It cannot be compound assignment. So you will definitely get a compiler error. So if I try to run this, I will get a compiler error, exception in thread. Okay, final local variable cannot be assigned. So final keyword is used to define a constant. Okay, so these are all some of the variable conventions. And if you see the class names, class name always starts with a capital letter. Okay, so it's not a convention, but it is better to have these naming conventions followed. And if you see hello world, W is caps, first letter is also caps, but variable is different, small r and capital R. Okay, so these are some of the variable naming conventions. Okay, let's go to the next topic, string. Okay, string is a class in Java. Okay, so string can take similar to any other programming languages, string can take a string text or information which is characters, multiple characters. Okay, let me put name, string is name, my name. So this is a string. Okay, if I print name, I will get my name. So similarly, string can also take concatenations. So what I can do is name equal to name, and to concatenate I can use a plus operation, and I can put is John. Okay, so if executed, I could see my name is John, so there is no space here, so I can put a space before it. Okay, this is a string variable in Java. So part of string, there are many methods available by default. So for example, in Eclipse, you can directly, after typing a variable, just put dot and press Control and spacebar. You will see a list of possible methods. Okay, so I can just check that there's a method called caret, and you will see the description of that particular method. So caret, I'm just going to put what is a caret first place. Okay, so I'm going to print it directly. Okay, if I execute, you can see the first is 0 and second is 1. So y is the character at number. So like that, string has many methods. Okay, so this you can use it for many different operations like comparison, making it lowercase, index of length. Okay, so you have match expressions. Okay, so there is a whole lot of string APIs available. So maybe we can take a different session to cover the string classes. Today we will concentrate only on the basics. Okay, then we will see what is array. Array is nothing but uh, a two-dimensional. There is two types of arrays. One is one-dimensional and two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so array in mathematical term, it's a collection of values stored in a data set. Okay, so for example, to create an array of integers, I just have to put int as the variable, and I have to open and close square braces, and I have to create a name. I can put my array equal to, and I can declare the array, so and it is going to hold three values 0, 1 and 2. To access an array, okay, so I'm just going to print it. Okay, my array, if I want first value in the array, then it is 0, so it starts from 0. And if I want second last item, nothing but 2, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so now if we print it, you will see the first letter is 0, first item in the array is 0, and last item, that is item at 2, is 2. Okay, if I want to modify the value, for example, okay, so my array, I am going to modify 2 item 2 with 10. I can directly place assignment operation and put it 10, and you will see now if I print my array of 2, it is giving 10 instead of the initialized 2. So this is how I can operate over the array. Similar to integer array, you can also define string arrays, boolean arrays, so float arrays, so all the variables except arrays. Even you can create array of classes or class objects. Okay, so next we will cover okay, we have covered accessing arrays and manipulating arrays, then defining a class, variable and method in Java. Okay, so we have already created a class and we have created a method called main. Addition to that, I'm going to create another method. Okay, so first we have to put access specifier. So I'm going to use public so anybody can access it, and the method is going to return integer. Okay, and it is going to add, the method name is add. It is going to take two integer values, a comma int b. Okay, so it is going to return a plus b. Okay, so it's going to do arithmetic operation. Okay, so I will comment all the previous results to get it. I'll just comment out everything. That's better. Okay, so now I'm going to call this method add, and I am going to pass values to it, and I'm going to get a return value, like I'm going to add two values. Okay, so first I have to create an object for my class. Okay, so hello world is the class name. To create an object, after class name you have to put my object new hello world to create the object. Okay, so new keyword will create an object for this hello world, and hello world has a default constructor by itself, so you will see the constructor in later sections. Okay, so it will create an object now, and I'm going to call the method add. I'm going to pass two values, 10 plus 20, so that we know that it is 30. I'm going to directly print it. Okay, so the answer should be 30. You can see it is 30. So this is how I create a method and I created an object and accessed the method directly. Okay, so this is the basics of classes and variables. And next is method signature and method call. Yeah, we have already seen it. Method signature has access specifier, what is the return type, whether it is integer, can return string, or if you don't have to return anything, you can directly put void. So in that case, the return a plus b won't be valid. So instead, I will directly put a plus b inside the statement, and I can't use this out here. Okay, so when it is void, that means the method will not return anything. If I run, yeah, so there is nothing called because I haven't called the method. Let me call the method. We're passing two values. Now you see the value a plus b is 30. Okay, so this is the method signature, and method accepts uh, arguments into it. So we have two arguments, integer a and integer b. Okay, and next is expressions in Java, introduction to various operators. Okay, so let's go to other operators. So we have arithmetic operators, relational operator, bitwise operator, assignment operator, and logical operators. Okay, so these are different types of operators. So from the name itself, you can understand arithmetic operator is for doing any mathematical operation, plus minus. Relational operator to know which is basically when you want to compare two values, like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to. So those are all relational operators. Bitwise operators. So this goes into the Boolean values, the zeros and ones. So any operation between bit level is considered as bitwise. So you might have heard about AND operation, OR operation, XOR. So those are all comes under bitwise operations. Okay, so then we have assignment operation. So to assign a value to a variable, and logical operation, like to do logical operations like AND operation, OR operation. So those things will be covered in logical operations. Okay, let's go one by one quickly. Okay, arithmetic operations. So all the mathematical operations, as I mentioned earlier, plus, minus, multiplication, division, and modulus divides two numbers and returns the remainder. So that's to get remainder. And plus plus is incremental operator. Okay, so this is more friendly used many times, and minus minus is to decrement operator. Okay, let's quickly see this operator example. I think we have already seen plus. I think all these are similar. Let's see incremental operator, plus plus and minus minus. Okay, let's take the a fresh class. I will delete everything. Okay, let's initialize attribute to 1. Okay, if I print it, it will be 1. Okay, then what I do is I add plus plus to it. So that means after printing, I am going to increment. Okay, so if you want to increment and then print, that also we can do. Let me okay, so after increment we are going to print a again, then I am going to first increment and then print. Okay, so this is two types, one is post increment and one is pre increment before I print. Okay, if I print, you can see it is initialized to 1, so after that it is incremented to 2, so you will see 2 here in the second row, and after that I'm going to increment and then print. So 2 will be incremented to 3 and I am printing it directly. So this is the incremental operator. Okay, similarly decremental operator also will work. Okay, so next see bitwise operation. So as I said, it works with bits. Okay, so AND operation, OR operation, XOR operation. So these are all related to the bit level operations. So bitwise complement, left shift, right shift. So this might have the left right is nothing but, so if you have binary digits, so it will shift one bit to left. and if it is right shift, then it will shift every bit to the right side. So the last one will come first, but here first one will go to last. Okay, and you have a zero fill right shift. Okay, so next is assignment operator. So this will help. Okay, we know what is equal to, so it will assign a value to a variable. The other are this is for assigning, and also it does increment. So you have a plus operation. So let me show you a sample. Okay, okay, so if I want to increment one, so what I can do, I can use incremental operator, or I can directly use plus equal to 1. So now this is equivalent to, okay, so I'm just putting it in command, this is actually equivalent to a equal to a plus 1. So this is the operation that is going to be done. Okay, it is going to increment 1 and again assign it to the same value. Okay, so if I put this out and print a, you will see it is 2, because initialized to 1, we are incrementing it by 1, and it is now 2. Similarly, it applies to all the basic primitive operations. Okay, it's the same. Let's go to logical operation. So mostly logical operations, we will use it in conditional tags like if condition, or wherever you want to evaluate a logic. Okay, so where you have AND operation, when two items should be true, then the evaluation will be true. And in logical OR operation, when you evaluate two variables, at least one should be true, then the operation is true. And logical NOT is a reverse of the variable given. So let's quickly see the logical operations. Okay, so I'm going to use if condition, okay, to evaluate it. So if takes a condition, okay, I'm going to put true and true. So this is nothing but this gives true. The final output of this will be true, and the answer I will get is true. We put the other way around. Okay, if even one is false, then we will not get the result true. I will put a else condition for it. As print as false. Similarly, I will put the same else condition. So if this is not evaluated, the else will be printed. So you can see first is along true, the other is false because it is not evaluated to true, and similarly this is also evaluated to false. Now let's change the operation to OR. Okay, so that's operation called pipe, two pipes. Okay, I have changed all the conditions, so this will evaluate to true every time, because here at least one is true, so obviously the result is true. Okay, so this is about operations, and finally the not nor operation. So I'm going to put negate of true. Negate of true is false, so basically this won't execute. So this will be false and this will be true. Okay, so obviously not of true, so obviously this will not execute, so only this will execute. If I put not of false, that means it is true, so false will print. Okay, so this is nothing but a negate operation. Okay, let's next see okay, so we have already seen if, and if else also we have seen. Let's see what is if else if. Okay, so I can put another condition. If I will put a variable, declare a variable. Let me start from scratch. a equal to 10. Okay, if I'm going to equate and check if a equal to 9, I will print 9. Else if a equal to 10, and I will print 10, else no value. So if I evaluate, so you can see this is else if. So after if I can do another evaluation and check whether it is true or false. Okay, so there is nothing but else if. Let's see what is switch. So yeah, switch is just to replace the else if. Let's do the same conditional check in switch. Okay, let me have it the same thing here. The switch goes with the operation switch. If we put the variable, okay, then put case 9, sys out 9. I have to put a break. So if a is 9, then this will evaluate. Then case 10, okay, so make sure that you have a break statement added. The break will make sure that it won't execute the other cases. If I don't have a break, then all the cases will be evaluated. So if first one is a hit, okay, so basically break will help us to skip all the other executions. Then you can have a default that's equivalent to the last else here. Okay, sys out no values. Okay, so obviously the both will give same result. Let's quickly see 10 10. I'll change it to 9 9 9. Let me put it as 11. Get no value, no value. Okay, this is the use of switch. So the switch had reduced instead of putting else if multiple times, I can directly do a case and move for it. So this is nothing but switch. Okay, next we will look for a for statement. Okay, for is an iterative statement used to iterate uh, an iterator loop actually. Okay, it starts with for. Okay, then for has three specifiers. One is we have to initialize a variable, so initialization part. I will initialize I is equal to 0. Okay, the second is condition. Three specifiers. One is to initialize. I'm initializing a value, and the next is exit condition. When I is less than 10, till less than 10, I will be evaluating it. Okay, then I have to increment. Then I'm just trying to print everything. So you can see from 0 to 9 it is printed. Okay, this is for loop. The same thing we will do it with while condition. That's the next topic. Okay, while I is less than 10, but I have to initialize I here. Int I equal to 0. We are going to do the same thing. I'll just put a differentiation here for I. Okay, so in while I will first evaluate. So what is the condition, whether this is still true or not. So this is true. So I is 0, so I is less than 10. It is true. So sys out from while I'm going to print I equal to plus I, and there is one more called do while. So do while will not evaluate first, but will evaluate at the end I less than 10. Okay, let's put a different argument for it. In j is equal to 0. Okay, so see in while condition I have to increment. I'm going to use incremental operator. Same thing I will do it in do also. Incrementation, and I will print do while I equal to plus I. Okay, so this is the two different loops, while loop and do while loop. Okay, so you can see, okay, so I have not printed J. Yeah, so you can see now, so J had first incremented, okay, and it printed, so it's from different numbers. Similarly, while here we have first incremented and then printed. Okay, so these are the three types of iteration statements in Java. Okay, so we have covered while, do while. Okay, next is continue operation. Okay, so basically let's take the for loop for this condition. Okay, so let's say I'm going to print it only for certain conditions. If I is less than 5, I'm going to print a different statement. Okay, let's go to continue statement. Okay, so if I want to do some continue operation, for example, if I is less than 5, then I will not print print anything. So basically it will not evaluate this is out operation. Okay, so you can see till 5 it is not printed because I am giving continue statement. And similarly there is another statement called break. Okay, so what I can tell is if I is greater than 5, I will break. So then it will print from 1 to 5, and after that the for loop will break. Yeah, so it printed from 0 to 5 and finally it break. So these are the two keywords that you use in a for loop. Okay, and we have seen what is return statement in the method call. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone. Stay tuned for next videos. Thanks everyone.